Hello, this is Ryan Gray with Major League Paintball. I am joined by Tom Cole, president of Major League Paintball. We're here to talk about the upcoming summit. Tom, how are you?
Good. Doing well. Thanks for having me, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's dig right in. What is the summit?
The summit is an industry conference. So it starts off with an award show. So we're doing a team and player award show and an industry award show. And then we go into a classroom setting where we have different classes going on, different presenters, different people talking. And it's also a place for the industry to show off some of its wares and different products that are going to come out this year.
So this is like Paintball Extravaganza?
It's exactly Paintball Extravaganza. We actually worked with Rick this year to kind of take over the Paintball Extravaganza. And so, because he's done, he's the one that started this thing, and it grew, and it has been kind of on its last legs here recently. But I think he did a great job with it, and it was impressive. And I love the fact that he did it. So we actually have worked with him a lot to make this transition. So he'll be at this event actually.
Okay, great. So this is not like a competing thing where industry people are going to have to worry about trying to make two events.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So,
all right, great. And so the Paintball Extravaganza in the past has kind of bounced around a little bit, but been in like Atlanta and a few other spots. Where is the summit going to happen?
So the summit this year is at Las Vegas. We're actually doing it at the Sahara Casino. The award show is going to be at the pool area at the Sahara, which is a really impressive area. It's like at the largest screen in Vegas, which is saying something. So it's going to be a pretty posh, pretty legit little award show. And then the show is actually at the Sahara, which Vegas is obviously a huge destination for everybody. I think we also have the added benefit of the fact that it follows right on the end of the NXL event. So not only do we get a chance to showcase the NXL event, hopefully there's some Storm field owners that want to see how tournament paintball has been progressing. But also it gives the vendors and the industry a chance to save some money and kind of bundle two trips into one.
Yeah. So you've mentioned the award show a couple of times. What is that?
So it's something I'm really excited about. So it's come about through some time, like when we lost Tim, I was kind of like, I don't even know if his parents knew how important he was to paintball, right? That was kind of like my first thought when he had passed away. And so ever since then, I've been kind of on a mission to create like a real award show. And other people are kind of stepping up. Ryan did it. Iconic Paintball did it. Quinn over there. So we wanted to bring something in and create like an ESPYs type environment, like a pretty legit award show where we're not only can we recognize people that played, great in Europe and the NXL US, but also the ICPL scenario, people who are doing a lot for the sport, and fields and stores that we think are doing a good job and kind of pushing the needle forward.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. So more kind of legitimizes us like some of the other leagues.
Yeah. Almost every other sport has some type of award, right? So, you got the bowling awards, you got everything, right? All sorts of sports have awards. And I think we owe it to the players to have something like that. I mean, we have some true athletes out there playing, and we have some who have been around for a long time playing. And we also have industry people that have done a lot for the sport, and people are going to forget about them if we don't start trying to immortalize them a little bit.
Absolutely agree. Yeah, it's a shame when you see people leave the game and it's like there's no fanfare, there's no nothing, they're just gone. It's so weird. Yeah.
Well, so weird. Yeah. And it's interesting. I mean, there's people obviously that I knew when I was a kid that did a lot for the sport that people would even know their names now, right? Jim Lively, Sam Caldwell comes to mind for me, right? That no one even knows what they did, right? And they're really some of the people that wrote the original rules that we're still playing today. So it'd be nice to recognize them. But also there are some Storm field owners that are really pushing the envelope and doing what they can to really grow in their market, but doing a great job. We like to call them out. And we hope that kind of incentivizes more people to kind of be more like them. And it's another way to showcase it. And who doesn't want their field or store up and, in front of the entire injury being showcased as the best one ever.
Yeah. And that's great. I mean, as a, former store and field owner myself, it would have been nice every now and again to have a congratulations for my hard work from the industry. I got the feedback I needed from the players as they were walking off, and lift their mask up and you see the big smile. That became enough, right? But it would have been nice to be recognized by the industry. So Paintball Extravaganza was always closed meetings. There was no, it was just closed off to field and store owners. Is the summit the same?
So we are doing roughly the same thing. I mean, there is some gray area because we've had some people that reached out that currently don't own a field store, but are wanting to put up a field store. So one of our things in our registration process is that you are wanting to open up a field store in the near future, so you can come and benefit from the classes. I think that's what a lot of it is, right? Sure. I got a little frustrated because I go to these other shows and I see these other industries that are a lot more organized in that aspect. If you want to go open a BMX course for, let's say, or a disc golf thing, there is organizations that just help you do that, right? They give you all the little nuts and bolts, and we really don't have that. So we're going to have to let some of those people in. And we are also Monday only in an isolated section. We will be having some team meetings and discussions with the league. Like we'll have a pro meeting, WNXL meeting, a semi-pro meeting. One of the challenges we've always faced as long as we've been around is the last event happens and people start texting me or whoever the person is at the time, Lane or Dave or whoever it was at the time, with ideas for the next season. And you just don't have time to vet nothing from World Cup till March, right? And it just leads to mistakes or rushed things. So we're going to talk it over with the pro teams. I'm just going to dwell on the pro teams. We'll talk to the pro teams, give them our vision for where we're going for 2025, get their insight to what they want to see. And then we can kind of start implementing those changes while everybody gets to think about it, right? Because, we have unforeseen consequences for everything we change. And we did that trial at World Cup, the 7-3, which was loved by almost universally. But, we could never implement anything or change anything in the off season. So I would like to start hearing people's ideas and kind of move forward with something for 2025 and give us a full time to digest it. So we will be having that element, but that'll only be on Monday and they won't be allowed into the trade show area. But it'll give a chance for the teams to give something to say, and give some insight into what we're doing and also kind of show what we're doing. A lot of people, we're really bad at kind of touting our own stuff and saying like, we've done this and we've done this, and kind of show people where we're going and also educate them in doing that. So we will have some of that.
Yeah. And so you kind of mentioned the 7-3 thing. So would the information that's going to be provided by whatever these roundtables look like, and is the plan to maybe create some more testers throughout the year?
Oh, for sure. Okay. But I mean, it's literally just a super small part of what we're doing at the summit, right? So,
sure.
But yeah, we would talk a little bit about that and see what's going on and get the, some stuff from the teams. And hopefully hear the same thing back from the fields and stores, what they need to see out of the industry, what they need to see out of us as the league kind of representing everybody. Everybody forgets. I mean, it's like we dwell so much on like the decisions that we make as a league that we forget that the real frontline troops are the fields and stores, right? They're really the ones that are going to make or break the industry, right? Ollie Lang can come and go, right? But when we lose stores and fields, that's a real problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
No offense to Ollie.
Well, let's dig into some of the specifics about what will be offered at the summit to store and field owners. So will there be like presentations, like things we've seen in the past at Paintball Extravaganza or even all the way back to IAO?
So yeah, we're going to have store and field owner roundtable meetings. So that's one of the things, and we even talked about this before the show. A lot of what you learn at these shows is really from your peers, talking to other people and finding out what's going on. So we have a moderated town hall kind of discussion. I wouldn't call it a roundtable because it's not that small of an area. And then we're also going to pair people up into roundtables with people of similar size with a moderator that's probably a little bigger than them. So, like talking to Giovanni or SC Village or whatever about how to run an event or run your weekend is completely different than trying to run a small group in Idaho or something. You know what I mean? Like they just talk such different numbers. So we also have classes for people outside the industry in marketing, search engine optimization, accounting, everything that we think that it takes to help run a successful business. And then we will also have tech classes being run by all the major people. We have pretty much reclaimed all the major sponsors from Paintball, all the big guys, the people that manufacture stuff are basically committed to the show. So it should be one of the biggest shows we've had from a vendor point of view as well. So if you want to get and see all the new products and all that stuff, it should be cool.
So I was blessed. I got to go to Paintball Extravaganza as both a vendor working for Key Action Sports, and then I got to go as a field and store owner.
Yep.
With Avid Extreme Sports. One of my big takeaways always was the time that I got to spend with my peers, whether it be in a roundtable discussion. But to be honest, it was usually sitting around a stand-up, bar table, in the lounge, having a cocktail and kind of talking about just chopping things up. Is there going to be a place where attendees will be able to step out and do those kind of things?
Yeah, we actually have a networking lounge set up for just that, so people can talk, especially if they don't, there's going to be some people with booths, right? Like, Clips will have a booth, right? But if you wanted to sit down and talk to another store owner and talk about stuff, we will have a little lounge area for you there. And like I said, we also have some outside guys coming in, and I find paintball people, me included, have always been a little like outside people. They're like, they don't understand what we're going through. But I've now learned, and some lady really put me in my place the hard way, that like, it's really just the same thing. We're just making it different in our own minds. Like, she was pitching me a marketing group or whatever, and I was like, look, I want someone that understands paintball. And she was like, well, let me get this straight. So you want people to pay an entrance fee? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, people are going to win and lose. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, you want to show people happy about that and sad about that and all the work they did getting in it? I was like, yep. She said, yep, we have no idea what you're talking about. So a lot of these, these people from the outside can help us. They've already gone through all this stuff. And I think that is important.
Absolutely. So again, kind of like Paintball Extravaganza was, they would offer, every one of the vendors who manufactured something would offer some sort of tech class. Is that still going to be a thing?
Yeah, we have lots of tech classes. We know we have Eclipse, Dye, Lux, Virtue. Definitely, we're going to have lots of tech classes for sure.
Okay, so they'll be able to
continually adding classes as we go. We keep adding classes. We're still roughly 60 days out from the event, so we still keep adding classes. So when this goes live, and people can register, we're still going to be adding classes as we go.
Oh my gosh, 60 days.
Yeah, it's quick. It's coming up quick. That's for sure.
Yeah. So who all from the industry? You mentioned a few. Who all from the industry has committed to be there?
That's a good question. We basically have Eclipse. I'm just going to say we have all the major players. I don't want to leave someone out and forget someone. I mean, basically every one of the platinum sponsors of the NXL is committed, and a lot of the smaller vendors as well. So if I go through that whole list, I will definitely leave someone off.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I don't expect you to try to remember all that. So
but we really want to elevate the whole experience, right? Like we've been going ever since we started the NXL. I've been going to a lot of outside trade shows and sports trade shows. So we're hoping to bring some of that we've learned to kind of help elevate this whole event, kind of make it super cool.
Sure. Yeah. So like there's no size of business. Like I don't have to be a certain size of business to get here, right? Like anybody can come. If you own a store field, you can come.
The smaller, the better. You know what I mean? We're here to try and help you grow, right? So, yeah, I mean, if you're huge, then you're going to benefit from meeting with your dealers and getting everybody in one place. If you're small, you're going to benefit from people that are talking to, have been there before, have learned and made all the same mistakes you have. Hopefully they can prevent you from making more. And it's going to be a great community. Like everybody that I've talked to that owns a store in a field is like dying to help other people.
Absolutely. Well, and I think that's been a thing forever, right? Like it's at least as long as I've been around, it seems like that always the ones who are doing really well want to see everyone doing really well.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Is there going to be anything besides paintball there?
There is. We actually are working with a bunch of the outside people that we think can benefit. Paintball parks can benefit from having. We're going to say BMX and disc golf are the two right off the top of my head. We also have airsoft there. So we are trying to make it any way for a field owner to try and make money or a store to make money.
What about axe throwing? Seems like there's a lot of paintball places getting into axe throwing.
We will have axe throwing.
Really? Okay, cool. So this could also be a great opportunity if stores and fields, mostly fields, probably looking for ways to expand. I guess field stores too, with disc golf, looking for ways to expand inventory, bring in new clients. This is a great way to connect with those people too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. That's one of the things we're most excited about, was kind of trying to have these outside people in to kind of help these field owners kind of like find other ways to generate revenue.
Yeah. It sounds like it's going to be a great show.
We hope so. We hope so. We plan on it.
Anything else you want to share?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
Make sure you stay at the Sahara.
Stay at the Sahara. Support. We will see you guys in about 60 days in Las Vegas.
Thank you very much, Ryan.
You bet. Thank you, Tom.